Stu, have you been following the Nashville shooter, the manifesto thing?
I think it's fascinating.
I do too.
Just one of the strangest things. You know, you think you know a country, and then this thing
and then this happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Nashville shooter, she goes in, kills 6 at the Covenant Elementary School. She's shot by police. They grab a manifesto, and there's 2 manifestos, apparently. One is why she did it and all of her thoughts behind it. And the other one is like, here's what I'm going to do. And they're now saying that the FBI won't release it. So it's out of the Nashville police hands, apparently. It's now with the FBI. And who doesn't trust the FBI? So they're not going to do it because they said that it's very disturbing. And it would be, I'm quoting, astronomically dangerous. Wow.
It's
astronomically dangerous.
It's very, very strange and seemingly there's a path here, right? Astronomically dangerous to whom? Now she's talking about apparently, and again, I'm calling her because she's a woman. Okay. The entire media has abandoned their policy of welcoming a gender transition because she identifies as a man. Yet nowhere in any article do they actually call her a he. Why? Why in this one case have they abandoned this policy that they say you are a complete hate monger if you... it's dead naming. They are dead naming this shooter. Now, I am completely for that. Whatever she would want in life, I want the opposite to happen in her wake. That's what I want.
I mean, I don't want to be vindictive about it. I just want to tell that
she went and killed a bunch of 9-year-olds.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of feel like I want to be a little vindictive.
Yeah, I know.
That might not be the most biblically based belief that I have.
I don't think that's really biblically based at all.
At all?
Yeah,
perhaps,
yeah,
but I don't. There are times in which my emotions maybe get the best of me.
I know.
So we'll just say we'll leave that aside for a moment.
I mean, you know, it's hard to be like me all the time, especially the humility part of me. I mean, there is nobody more humble than me, and you know that. So
You're the
I
humblest.
I'm the humblest. There should be an award for this. But anyway, I'm too humble to ask for it.
But the path here is interesting, I think, because they're saying it's incredibly dangerous. Like, does she have a decoder ring for our nuclear arsenal? What do you mean it's astronomically dangerous?
Yeah, so there's 2 things, though. There is her why I did it and what I'm planning. And what I guess the FBI is saying is the part where she was planning, somebody else, they said it'd be very, very dangerous because somebody else could get this and just pick it up where she left off. Well, I don't think it's all that hard. I mean, unless, like Stu said, she has codes to the nuclear secret. We don't need that. But I think you're fooling yourself if you are thinking that, you know, crazy people can't come up with a plan to kill a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, maybe it was, let's target the GOP headquarters. And because I believe the FBI is trying to protect something. I just don't think it's the American people.
And what I think it is, if I may propose a guess here.
Yes.
Is, Glenn, do you know what evil conservatives would do if they read this manifesto by this trans person? They would target the trans community.
They did say that.
That is what they're saying. So, like, when a trans person kills 9-year-olds, the danger are conservatives who might go after other unrelated trans people.
Can I just tell you something here? Can I tell you something? We have 350 million guns. They're in the hands of most of the conservatives, very few liberals, okay? Just want to make this really clear. If there was a problem, you'd know about it.
It is
Jeez.
it is a bizarre inconsistency in their argument, as you note here. But like, there's a quote from a guy from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and he says, "I think what the FBI is really concerned with, and I think law enforcement, is that if there is something in there that is truly damaging for the transgender community, I think they are hesitant to do it because they are afraid of a violent backlash against that protected class of people."
What would be in there that would be so damaging? This is a crazy person.
Honestly, what could she have written that would be worse than murdering 9-year-olds? I don't know. Like, and again, I have not seen any backlash against your everyday trans person for these murders. I think what you note about conservatives that we tend to treat people as individuals. So the people actually murdering 9-year-olds, yes, we want consequences to come to them. The people actually jiggling their naked genitals in front of kids' faces, we think there should be legal consequences there too. But we don't blame every single person that has similar immutable characteristics or mutable characteristics. Because they share them with criminals. You don't blame the group. That's the left's thing to do. And maybe that's why every media source seems to get on these bandwagons, because that's the way they think.
Well, they always finger themselves. Sorry for that. They
People, you with your dirty minds. I know you.
Filthy.
This is the audience's fault, not yours, Glenn. This is their fault for where their mind went.
You. My God.
I blame them. I am disappointed in every single person in this audience for what they just thought.
You're sick.
That is sick. I'm
sick.
starting to side with the media on you, you know?
So the media always points to us on the things that they do, the things that they believe.
Yes, that's what they do.
So I'm going to move off of that point and let me get to, okay. So the guy in Louisville that shot 5 people and killed them at the Old National Bank in Louisville. Remember that story?
I do remember that,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Okay. Remember that was going to be, we got to ban these guns. 13-page manifesto, which the Daily Mail has, allegedly disclosed that the 25-year-old shot and killed multiple colleagues in part to prove his belief that guns are too easy to obtain in Kentucky. He wanted to draw attention to mental illness, something his parents later disclosed he suffered from and took medicine from. Gun control backers latched on to the shooter's crimes to embolden Democrats to move forward with an unconstitutional red flag law and gun grabs. But that's what he wanted. That's what was in his manifesto. And, let me just say this. They are on television and in public. Imagine if I were on the air every day and I said, those people for January 6th, I'm bailing all of them out. I'm with all of them except for Ray Epps. I'm for all of them, and I think they did good, and we will bail them out and provide them with attorneys, anybody who ever does anything like that. Do you think that would encourage more people to do that? Be neutral or discourage? What do you think? They are telling people, like in Nashville, if you have a good reason, you're fine. You're totally fine. In fact, you might be a hero. We'll bail you out. We'll clean it up. We'll cover it up. You just do your thing. They are breeding killers.
Incentivizing the behavior.
Yes, because they're all sick. All of them have a mental illness. You don't go and do this without a mental illness. So they are they're souping up the people who have a mental illness. How many times have you, let me rephrase it, have you ever heard anyone on any of these lefty talk shows or, CNN, have you ever heard anyone say to their audience, be careful who you're surrounded by. There are a lot of crazy leftists. There are also maybe people that want you to strike out and do these things. Whatever you do, don't. That's not the way we do things. We don't burn cities down. We don't riot. We don't do those things. Have you ever heard them say that? No, you've heard them say the opposite over and over and over again. So when a guy shows up at a bank with a gun and kills 5 people, and he says in his manifesto, it's because, Joe Biden is right and all these people are right, we got to grab guns. Does that give anyone pause on what you're doing? Anything? No, because with the left, the ends justify the means. And that should chill Americans to the bone. What's the difference between killing 5 and 500,000? Ends justify the means. America's going down the wrong path, and I think most Americans know it. You just have to remind yourself all the time who we are. They're doing everything they can to destroy our history, to destroy our values, destroy our churches. They're coming up. This is a new religion. This is a religion, whether they like it or not. They abandoned God long ago. And what Nietzsche said is true. You can't just banish God. It leaves a vacuum. And you will worship another God. Well, that's what happened to a third of Germans. They worshiped a god of science and a mythological pagan-style god and Adolf Hitler. And look where they ended up. And nobody stood up to stop them because the churches were too slow, too asleep, too worried about losing things. America's different, always has been. When our churches begin to get it, and that's really for you, you need to start leaving your church if they're silent and go find another one. If they're silent on all of this stuff, you need to say, what is the deal here? What is the deal? If they're not at least, preaching against silence, preaching against chaos, trying to make people better and come together and teach people how to do that. If they're not doing that, if they're not pointing out evil, why are you going? Why are you going? And don't you dare leave your church without telling your church exactly why you're leaving.